What's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing sort of a viewer requested topic. People wanted to hear from me, especially people that haven't read the Walking Dead comic book series and don't intend to. What are the top 10 biggest differences between the original comic book series and the television series adaptation? Okay, now due to the type of video that this video is going to contain spoilers for sure. And not just for one, but for both. So if you have not seen the TV series up to date, if you haven't read the comic book series up to date, and you intend to catch up on either one, you may not want to watch this because I may spoil some things for you. So that said, what's the point? What are we talking about here? What exactly are we doing? So basically what we're doing is we're looking at both stories, okay? And because both stories are different, for those of you who don't know, the comic book series, the original, the TV series version is a lot different than it. Different things happen with characters. Some characters die at times when they don't. Some characters survive longer than they did in the original series. There are some vast, significant differences between both stories thus far up to the Walking Dead Season 5 mid-season point. So in this video I'm going to be going over what are, in my opinion, the top 10 biggest changes or biggest differences between the two and how they're handled. So without further ado, let's get started. The first one at number 10 going down the list here is Tyreese. And so far the way Tyreese has been handled. When Tyreese first showed up, Chad Coleman does a great job, by the way, looks a lot like him. I kind of figured it'd be pretty much exactly the same as it was in the comic book series. And as we've gone on with him, the character has become more and more different the further on in seasons that we get. At times he does seem like he's very similar. He's basically the same character when he gets in a fight with Rick, that kind of thing. But, even the context of that weren't the same. And especially this season in Season 5 with his choice not to kill Martin. And since then refusing to kill, he's just, he's so different from the original Tyreese in the comic book series that we saw kind of, go after the governor, try to kill the governor, try to actually find him and put an end to him, try to kill him. The TV series version, to me, his personality is extremely different from that in the comic book series, and his newfound sort of compassion, like we saw with Martin, and not wanting to kill, refusing to kill, this whole type of thing, saving baby Judith, just everything they've done with him, even though some parts are similar, others, are not. So he's one big change for me. And in the future, this could even move up higher the list of differences because we don't know what he's going to do with him, or what they're going to do with him. The comic book series version, I'll stay spoiler free here. You guys have read it, what they did with him. But yeah, it's a totally different direction. We'll have to see what they do with him in the future, since it's completely different from how it went in the comic book series. The next one is a big change from way back from Season 1. I did a video talking about Robert Kirkman saying that he actually regretted this part, and that is the CDC. Way back at the finale of Season 1. Now, I did like the addition. I thought it was fresh. I thought it was new. I thought it was a cool break from the regular zombie apocalypse stuff we're used to. And it gave us some good character development with Shane. It gave us some good information about the world. And I did like it quite a bit. Huge difference between the two. The CDC is not a location in the comic book series. Never has been. Probably never will be. TV series only type location. Big difference between the two. You don't get that storyline in the comic book series. So that's number 9. Number 8 is going to be the addition of Terminus. Yeah, so Terminus, a completely new location as well, connected to the Hunters, allowing us to get a little bit of an extended period with the Hunters. We had kind of that half season where they were traveling there from Season 4, or most of the groups were starting to find their way there. And I liked how that made sense that all the groups would see the signs and all go there together. I think it was a pretty smart decision since they were all scattered, and that does make sense that they would go there if they were looking for refuge and they saw the signs that they might get tricked into it, or at least go check it out. So I did like the way they added in the Terminus, stuff to extend the hunters, to extend what happened, and it led to an amazing premiere for The Walking Dead season 5. So I really liked it, and it's a huge difference in the comic book series. Terminus doesn't exist, isn't there. It's just the hunters kind of show up out of nowhere on the hunt. In this case, we see them kind of transform from termites to hunters. So that's number 8. Number 7 for me, and this is a big one. It's going to be Laurie's death. Now, in terms of, the feel of it, it felt a lot different, how it was handled. Now, I will say that I think even though it was fresh in the TV series and hugely impactful, crazy sad, and everything of the sort, I like the comic book series version of this one better. Basically, the difference, this does contain spoilers, is we see her die in the equivalent of Too Far Gone. So she gets basically shot down during this fight, during this battle, during this war. I thought that was a really cruel way to go with it, and it really set, into the reader what the Walking Dead universe is like. It's just one of the most memorable moments in the whole series, and the TV series version, because it's just kind of like this C-section thing, it's pretty lackluster in comparison, to tell you the truth. I really liked the comic book series Death of Laurie better. When you look at it in hindsight, even though when it happened in the TV series, it was pretty unexpected. I didn't see it happening there. And maybe there's some problems with cable TV with showing her getting gunned down, by another group of survivors. That's too dark, and they wanted to stray away from that kind of a death for Laurie. So I think that makes sense. So that's why they went the other route. But I will say in this case, it's a huge difference because it's such a huge death. It's one of the biggest deaths in the entire series. That's Rick's wife, and what happened with Judith after as well too is different as a result of the death. In one case, Judith is being carried, and boom, she goes down. She gets shot to death. In the other case, the baby is saved, and they played that off well too. So that's number 7. Number 6, big difference, is going to be the character of Beth. Huge difference. I mean, just the addition of Beth as a character, Emily Kinney's performance, the fact that she's got, kind of the first half of season 5, aside from the Hunters, her storyline is the big highlight, and she did not exist in the comic book series. Good addition or bad? I don't know. I mean, it depends how you feel about Beth. Personally, I like the addition. I did like what they did with her in the end. They made her a lot better. At the beginning, I wasn't so hot on the idea. I didn't really like her as a character too much with the whole suicide stuff and all that. Granted, it makes sense. It's realistic in that kind of a world that you would see a young character like that possibly want to do that. Jenner did it, and he's very intelligent and everything, right? So it makes sense. But, I really like what they did. They went from one kind of weakest type of people you could have to who doesn't want to live anymore, just doesn't have any ambition to do anything, to a very positive character that fights for survival and is a fighter right up until the very end. So I did like what they did with Beth in the end, just not in the beginning so much. But it was a good addition for me, and definitely a huge difference between the two. One, especially right now, people can consider. Number 5 is going to be Carol. The differences between Carol in the comic book series and the TV series are just astronomical. I mean, they're crazy. Like, it's a different character. They have the same name, right? Carol, they're Carol, but they're not the same character at all. The Carol from the comic book series is really twisted and crazy, and she tries to have a threesome with Laurie, and it's really weird. It's weird, man. Really, really weird. The TV series version of her is a female Rambo, way more badass, way, stronger of a survivor. At least, so far, maybe losing her will to live at this point, but I feel like that evolution has been a lot more natural than what it was in the comic book series, where it's just she gets rejected or whatever. She has no love, and what happens with her there. But yeah, way different character, different feel, and I really like how they've improved on her in the TV series. I think she's a much better character than the comic book series version was, and a huge difference for the show overall so far. So yeah, that's number 5. Number 4 is going to be what they did with Shane, extended Shane. A lot different than it was in the original comic book series. Much better, in my opinion, in the TV series. A lot more development, a lot more time. Save the last one, and John Bernthal's performance, getting to see him all the way through the second season rather than just killing him in the beginning of the first season. it was a smart decision. I think it was really handled well, and I love the change all around. Huge difference there at number 4. Number 3, this one is going to be more for the future, and this is why I put this so high, is the death of Sophia in general, what they did with Sophia. And a lot of people who watch the TV series will be like, I don't get it, why would that be so high? Well, Sophia in the comic series is still alive, and she's growing up. And, we're seeing a big concentration with her as of late, and it just makes me think that in the future, she's going to get even more of a heavy concentration because she's a unique survivor to the comic book series. She's not alive in the TV series. She was killed early. So in this case, she's really tough as nails. She's growing up, hard, and she's having a really tough life in the zombie apocalypse, just like Carl is. And we could see her possibly become a love interest for him in the future, maybe. I guess we'll have to see what happens. But I feel like Kirkman is setting her up to being a character that's going to be used a ton in the future, and to compare that to the television series version, I definitely like the comic series version way, way better. And I'm excited to see what they do with her in the future. Number 2 is going to be Andrea. Andrea from the comic series, obviously still alive, still a super strong survivor, being a sniper, really tough female, strong female, maybe the equivalent of like Michonne, but with firearms rather than a sword. Just tough as nails, able to fight, even one-on-one kill male fighters, survivors. Just a really, really cool character in the comic series. Television series, it went a lot different, way different route than they did in the comic series version, and I liked that version too. But it was so different that I had to put this one so high on the list because the character, it's not polar opposites, but it's like way different. The TV series version, she hooks up with the governor and all this stuff. The comic series version, like, none of that happens. Like none of that, and it's totally different. So that's a huge one. And number 1, the biggest difference between the comic series and TV series is the addition of the Dixon Brothers, the new characters to the TV series, both Merle and Daryl. And I really like both of them, with the most emphasis here being on Daryl, since he is pretty much the number 2 character in the show at this point. Norman Reedus' performance as him, what he's done with the character, I'd say he's probably, the second most popular character in the TV series. And, when you think about the character, sometimes you even forget he doesn't even exist in the comic series. So, it's pretty cool that, they have their own, character that's so big, so popular, and so awesome. When you think of The Walking Dead, it's hard to think of it without Daryl if you've seen it all the way through. And the fact that in the comic series, he doesn't exist. So there's some huge differences between the two, just to count them down again. Tyreese, CDC, Terminus, Laurie's death, Beth, Carol, Shane, Sophia, Andrea, and the Dixon Brothers, both Merle, especially Daryl. Huge addition, and I really like having the two of them in there. So there's things, as you can see, we go through the list. There's certain things I like better in the comic book series, Andrea and Sophia. There's certain things I like better in the TV series, the Dixon Brothers and Shane and some of the others, Carol. Wanted to do this video basically explaining to people that haven't read the comic book series how the stories differ. And if you have time this year, if you've never read the comic book series, in between the break until season 5 second half starts, I can't recommend it enough. I'd say definitely check it out because it's its own unique story. There's a lot of differences between the two, like these ones I've highlighted here. There's even more, lots more you can think of that are very prominent or very, big between the two. But these, for me, that impacted me as a reader and viewer, these are the biggest differences. It's one of my favorite things about the TV series is they decided to make it different so that we don't know what's going to happen step by step, and it's even more exciting. Let me know what you guys think, what your biggest differences are, the ones that affected you the most as a reader or viewer between the two. Which one's your favorite? Which ones you like better? Which characters you like better? Which characters you like worse? Maybe which ones you hate the most? Which ones you like the best in terms of the differences between the two? And if you want to talk about which story you like better up to this point, write it in the comments below. If you want to see me do a video on that, I can oblige. I can do one maybe this week or next week on up to this point now, because we've been 5.5 seasons in. Things change all the time with the TV series and the comic book series. Which is my favorite plot? Which version do I prefer up until now? Let me know if you guys want to see that. And if you like this video, please thumb it up below. If you want to help support the channel, please share it. Please favorite it. And that's it for this one, guys. See you for the next one. As always, it's Trev. Saying peace.